Hello, everyone. Welcome to cybersecurity. I was originally going to open and talk more about online porn and stuff like that, but you've already heard and felt the weight of that, I think, enough. So what we're going to do is get into more about how to protect yourself and your loved ones from the technology. I think one of the things, we've definitely reached that point in history where no one can tell what's true anymore. And technology, in my opinion, is one of the main reasons for it. It's complicated and confusing by design. So again, Christina is going to run through a ton of information. You can't possibly follow it or understand it all, but there's going to be a QR code that will give you access to this entire presentation, all the details, tutorials with step-by-step, where to go in to turn off certain things. It'll all be in there, so don't feel like you have to keep up with all this and remember it all, because no one could. I'm 52 years old. I remember the pre-internet age, and this stuff still makes me crazy. So I need a step-by-step exactly like she's going to provide for you, but just rest assured, get the QR code and you'll have access to it on your own time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to jump right in. I know we covered how traffickers can use internet and platforms, be it social media or gaming platforms or websites, and deceptive job ads to get people to click and to interact with them and to eventually ensnare them. So this is just a way of going through over very quickly how that happens, what an example of it looks like, and how to prevent it from happening. So just a quick example. This is on Instagram. If you have a profile, and if your profile is private, that means only your friends can text you or can chat with you. But there is a feature called message requests, which means even people you don't have on Instagram can send you messages, and they don't show up in your normal list of chats. They're hidden behind a button called requests. It's on the upper right corner. And if you click on it, it lights up when you get a message request. And if you click on it, it's usually from someone you don't know. It can be a brand. They can send a message and say, "Hi, we would love for you to model our merchandise for us." And it can be jewelry, it can be clothes. We'll send it to you, and we want you to post it and post that you're an ambassador of our brand. And we just need some information from you. So this is an example of what not to do. This is here someone responding, saying, "Hi, thank you for considering me. How do I proceed?" I advise against any of those. Some of those may be legitimate and maybe actual companies, but actual companies don't really reach out because they have people reaching out to them asking to be ambassadors, as opposed to them reaching out and finding people. Even if it's a small business and they're just starting out, you can always look at reviews. You can always find out if that company is actually legitimate and if the ambassador program is something they do or not. So you can do this background check for your child and make sure it's safe before proceeding. If they really want to proceed, I personally advise against it. You don't get much. You don't really get paid that much. You may just get the free jewelry or the free clothes. Don't think it's worth them having your information. So that's like my personal opinion. And I just want to cover that you could be doing everything right. Your profile could be private. You could only have friends messaging you. You could do all the right things. But your profile could get hacked. And then they would get access to your pictures, to your chats, to your information. So before we go also like securing externally and allowing people to message us, we want to make sure that our accounts are safe and secure and strong. That means strong passwords. That means multiple factor authentication. You have to go and explicitly turn that setting on in your apps, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. That means you're required to enter more than just your password and your username to log in. So if someone has your password but they don't have your phone in their hand, they can't log in, because usually it sends you a message to your phone with a code. Or there's apps called like Authenticator that needs you to also enter a code or scan your face or get your finger ID, whatever it is, fingerprint, just to allow you to access. So I also advise that these are turned on, not just for social media platforms, but also for Google. Google is very important. If someone has your Gmail, they have your everything, because we use Gmail to sign into everything. So this is the most important one to secure. You want to have multiple factor authentication. You want to have a recovery email. That means if you lose access to this one, there's another one that you know that he can reach you at, and you can recover your email that way. So this example here is of a fake job ad, and this is how they can approach someone. Another way they can approach someone, it can be through love bombing. If a daughter or a son, they have a public profile and they're posting pictures, they can get a flood of comments, messages, likes, replies to their stories from people they don't know. They can be very flattering, they can be saying very nice things, you're so pretty, whatever it may be. And it's flattering and it's difficult maybe to want to turn that off, but even if that doesn't happen if your profile is private. Hi.
I want to know what does mean by strong password. Second, why I have to have an Instagram?
Why you have to have?
An Instagram. I don't have an Instagram. In the beginning,
Yes.
why I have an Instagram?
So Instagram, my number one advice, of course, would be don't download Instagram and don't download social media and just stay in your room. But I think you guys hear more from your children, like from your kids, than I do. So I think it's good. Like everyone else has Instagram, everyone else has social media. They want to see what everyone else posts and talk about it the next day at school. If you're not in that loop, maybe you're left out. They don't want to be isolated and they don't want to feel left out. It's not a great answer, but.
What you are saying is correct. But I go one step with my kids. Why they need a social media to be a social? Why? This kind of discussion I generated before they jump to any account. All they want. For me, I don't have Facebook. I don't have an Instagram or other social media. But this is not the social life. Social life is completely different. This is actually separate people from social life. This is my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're 100% right.
100% agree.
Yep. People are angrier and more separated from real people than ever before. And don't forget about the strong password.
So no, I think we all agree, and it's a good conversation to have before downloading any apps, because you have the ability to block downloads. They have to come to you to approve the download of the app, so you can have a conversation of, why do you want this app? What will you get from it? And maybe you can reach a point or conclusion where you don't really want it anymore and you just saved yourself a bit of a headache. In terms of the strong password, here we have an example of like what a weak password would be, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Egypt 2016, love America, whatever it is. But that's not great. So we want to have like a minimum of 12 characters. We want numbers, we want uppercase, we want lowercase, and we want special characters. Be it the @ sign, the exclamation point, whatever it is, dashes, underscores, whatever it is. And this just helps you, and it can be like your pet name or your like, I don't want to say public information, but stuff people know about you. So like not your like mom's name or your like love them, but like not here.
How about the face password, like when you put it by your face, is that safe?
This is safe, yes. This is the second factor authentication. So usually you need to do the password and then scan your face. Or if it's like saved on your phone and you want to log into like your banking app and it scans your face, this is the safest option. It's called biometric, and it can be your thumbprint or your Face ID, and that's usually the safest option. I tried.
Wow.
What did you do?
I tried it with my sister, didn't work. I think it's a bit smarter than that. So in most situations, it shouldn't work.
How much is your password secured? And if you put a similar password to yours, you don't have to. You just like first letter is capital, and then it tells you how much time hackers need to crack in time.
Yeah, so that's a good resource if you want to go test your password security. Again, don't enter your exact password. Change each letter to like the one neighboring one if you want, or the number to the neighboring number. But it can tell you how long it would take for hackers to crack your password. Again, with AI happening, it doesn't really take that long. There's apps that can work in the background with quantum computing, and they can work super fast. So it's even less than the app would tell you. So just like some best practices to watch out for ourselves and for our children, think before you post. Some posts are really not necessary, needless. I don't care. I post about, go tell her happy birthday. I mean, happy birthday maybe, but like, my favorite show ever, I'm having snack for lunch. I am now walking on the beach. Not unnecessary. This is someone tracking your steps. This is someone who knows where you are now, where you're there next. And if you do this on a weekly basis, or you have a routine, they know your routine.
Can I add on one thing on that? One of the things that also has sprung up specifically with people posting about where they are is people posting that they and their family are on vacation. And they come home and their house has been cleaned out because everybody knows nobody's home. Just one more thing.
Exactly. So stay alert. You now know the signs to look out for your friends or your children or children's friends might be groomed online. Again, if they're asked to be isolated, if they're asked to not tell anyone, if they're getting gifts in exchange for whatever it is they're doing, these are all red flags. And just speak up. You can tell someone you trust. You can always report profiles on social media. Doesn't really do much. But if a lot of people report the same profile, may get some attention. And you can always block. Oh, when you go to block, on Instagram and Facebook, and I believe Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, it'll tell you, do you want to block just this account or any other account this person creates? You want to block their account and any other account they create. Instagram will take care of that for you. Here we have, and again on the QR codes, if you scan, it'll take you to a PowerPoint slideshow with a step-by-step guide on how to turn off message requests. That means people who are not your friends can't message you or can't add you. Social media privacy are again on that same QR code, so I'm not going to go through them now. But we also, last thing we want to be mindful of is to turn off tracking on our social media. So all your apps can track what links you click on, how long you stay on that link. They can track where you are in your house. Not as in what room you're in, but if you have a routine, like you usually scroll a lot before bed, they'll know, like, and then again, this is the same time you scroll a lot before you go to sleep. This is the time you'll get the most ads. Because again, if it's the end of the day, you don't want to make any more decisions and you're just tired, you'll click and you'll make purchases. I bought so many things off Amazon after midnight, and it's just how that happens. So you want to make sure you turn off ad tracking from your social media profiles. That can be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't track. You can go delete the history, because the history is saved of what websites you clicked on before. And that's just the social media stuff. You want to go back to your phone itself and turn off tracking. Your phone is tracking you. Your phone is tracking what websites you open, what links you go to, what are your interests, and then people can use those against you, because if you really like leggings, they can spoof a website to look like the one you usually go to, ask for your information, ask for your credit card, ask for pictures, whatever it is, and use that against you later on.
Experience happened to me. There was one post for Mina Masoud, and I did a like. I think somebody passed away, and I said my condolences. And then another, Mina Masood, it appeared that there's a Mina Masood account wanted to add me as a friend, and I said, oh, because I just said my condolences, and then it was a fake account, and then they started asking me questions, and I blocked them right away. But yeah, even if you show any empathy or engagement with somebody, somebody could exploit that.
Even when you talk to someone about like a store or something, you will find like you're getting an ads on your Facebook, even you didn't search for it, but I think they hear you like Siri, like spy on you and listen to what you're saying. Yeah.
Yep.
I just mentioned this, but there was a lawsuit against Apple because of this very thing. People have been opening their apps and finding ads pop up for stuff that they were just talking about. So they filed a lawsuit, and Apple ended up settling the lawsuit. So they didn't really go to fight this accusation. So that does happen. The new thing in Apple right now, if you have an iPhone, is Apple Intelligence, and that records everything you do on your phone. Be it go to websites, message people, open your email, and it reports it back to Apple every 15 minutes. And that is turned on by default. So you explicitly have to go into your settings and turn that off and delete the history, because if you don't delete it, they'll just keep it. You consent it by just keeping it there. So that's another thing you want to make sure you do. We need to make sure, another thing, real quick, because you could, again, be doing everything right. You could have your profile be private, have only your friends see your stuff, and secure your profile, but you don't know if they're securing their profile. And this is just the paranoia in me that someone else's profile could be hacked and used against me, or to take my pictures, or to see my messages, or whatever it is. So it is nice to even have just like, you don't have to go do it yourself, but have your daughter or your son go through the profiles. And if usually someone is active, but they've been like dead for a while online, maybe a red flag. If they're too active, may also be a red flag. Maybe they can go ask if this is actually you posting or not, but double check that the people who are having access to your stuff and can see your pictures and your posts are who they say they are, who they, yeah. That one. So I'll just go ahead, and again, if you have old accounts you're not using, or if they have old accounts they're not using, go ahead and deactivate those. Not needed, because they probably created them when it first started, and the password is probably really, really weak to an email that's a really, really weak email with a really, really weak password. My first password was Christina123. So make sure these are deactivated. You don't need them. All these first emails you first started, or the email you keep just to get like ads and promotions on, change the password there. Because if they can get to one email, they can get to all emails. I want to quickly cover the slideshow that the QR code will take you to. This goes and shows you how to protect TikTok, your own, your children's, allow parental controls. It just, if you look up the app name, so TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, type parental control after it, it'll show you what to do. Again, I included that here. I included videos and screenshots. On the last, we have Instagram, Snapchat. I don't love Snapchat, even though it does tell you there's parental control and you can restrict what content they see. It's better not to have it. This is the one I'd be like really strict about, is Snapchat. YouTube, App Store, and Google Play. This is where you can approve or block apps from being downloaded in the first place. iPhone settings. Yes. Yeah, good.
Excuse my ignorance, what's Snapchat doing?
Snapchat is another app that they use to post pictures, and they disappear after 24 hours. The messages also disappear after 24 hours, which is the bad people's best app. They love using Snapchat, because by default, unless you go and turn on history, the messages will disappear. So they can send bad pictures, they can send bad text, and it will go away. And if you take a screenshot, they'll know. And it's very difficult to maintain restricted content on there. It does tell you if you'd like to go and restrict sensitive content, but sensitive content is very up to interpretation. It's very subjective. What might be sensitive to you may not be sensitive to the person. They may not be rude or sexual, whatever it is, they could just be making, and they have a way of avoiding the algorithm. They know now how to not be detected by the algorithm. So it will still show up and open, and it will introduce you and expose you to things you may not need to know.
Like in Instagram?
Yes, except just pictures disappear every day. They don't stay on there. Yeah. So this is my least favorite one, just because of it's very easy to avoid the algorithm on there if you really want to get to someone. And it's not, honestly, it's just out of date. It's not cool anymore. It was cool 10 years ago when it had filters.
TikTok is the thing now.
TikTok is, but I think TikTok are doing more about the privacy and the security. On TikTok, here in the video, you can see how to actually see your kids' activity, what they react and comment on, who they message. You won't see the messages, but you'll see who they message. Yes, you have to have an account and like add them and link the two accounts. Yes. Same with Snapchat was also one. You have to have a Snapchat account. Yep. So that's why it's best to just have access on their app store. That way you can see what they're downloading. And if you don't want them downloading that, they can just block it.
Or Instagram and LinkedIn, link their account. Do they not have access to ban me? To kick me out of
No.
their account?
No. I mean, there's
Contact
always ways, though. If they're persistent enough, and you can Google that. I can Google how to avoid or how to not be detected by my parents' controls or whatever it may be. But it's really complicated. Hi, yes. But oh, okay.
I am from the old school. Like Brian said, and I have the deal with my kids, they don't have cell phones until they are in college. Even I have this discussion with my wife, not with them. When they have my biggest son now is going to high school, she is thinking to get for him a cell phone. What the need of the cell phone? It's a way only of communications. We can communicate many ways. Thank for the technology now. There's many ways to communicate with my kids rather than cell phone. So if they convinced they don't need the cell phone, I don't need this dilemma at all.
Modern way to belong. If you don't have a cell phone as a kid, you're a weirdo.
I teach him how to be proud, to be weird.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
That's a good way
It's
to
hard to
approach
do.
it, for sure.
Okay, last Sunday we had like kind of fight or argument with middle schoolers. So one of the girls said like about two boys, they hacked her account. And the boy said, I don't have the device to hack accounts. So I don't understand, is there a device to hack accounts? And also like sending some messages on her account. So I need to understand what is hacking and how they have a device to attack.
There's no special device to hack someone else's account. Hacking can be, if I know you really well, I can guess your password. If I don't know your Facebook password, but I know your email password, I can use your email to get into your Facebook. There's a lot of ways to go around it. If I can create a new email and set that as your Facebook email, and when you get the code, I'll get the code and enter it. There's, of course, more complicated ways to go around it, like cracking the password and using what's called brute force attacks, where you don't even need the password. It just keeps guessing until it breaks it, and it brute forces its way in. I doubt that's what they did in middle school. I'd be impressed if that's what they did in middle school. But there's no really like special equipment or devices you need to hack someone else's account. You can know them really well.
The only way to completely avoid any of this stuff happening is to not be online at all, which is really difficult in the modern world. The goal of this type of stuff is to give basic step-by-steps for those who aren't tech savvy, which is probably just about everybody in this room. And it can't perfectly protect us, but it gives us a lot of really, really good tools. And unfortunately, we are out of time on this session.
Thank you guys for coming, and let me know if you have any questions. You're talking about antivirus? You have to
The
pick one?
antivirus, and also nowadays there are a lot of them with a lot of stuff. So do they not help, even to the extent of identity theft and so on? So we can protect. We give this much insurance and things like that.
So each program or each app will only protect a certain area. Antivirus protects your computer or your phone from getting a virus. That can be a virus that just wipes your phone, steals
Talking
your
about
data.
this all-in-one digital, they're all-in-ones nowadays, these digital things, digital security.
Yes, so there is, if you're asking about which app you can trust,
Are those not able to?
they can do some,
Yeah.
but you have to do your part too. If you have a really weak password and someone just guessed it, they'll find, they guess it was you signing in. And that's why two-factor authentication is really good, because even if someone has your password, you'll get a code on your phone and they don't have your phone, so it won't log them in. And we'll get a notification that someone was trying to log in, and that's when you go and you change your password. Just one last thing, also another thing to maybe want to approach this through. Yes, there are risks, and yes, we are scared and we don't want to ever go into these situations. But a good way to also approach it is just for your mental health. For the kids' mental health, it's not great. This is its own, of course, talk, and it can be its own conference, but it's a comparison minefield. It's a look at what everyone else is doing that I'm not doing, everyone else has that I don't have. And it's really not a healthy way to live. You can have everything in moderation. You can have a little bit of everything, but if it gets too obsessive, and that's why time limit is also a good thing, it's on the document. You can set time limits on apps where you get your little bit, you get the exposure, you know what people are doing, but you don't need to live in the app. And if you don't scare them, or if you try to not scare them, they'll listen. Because I tend to go the opposite way. When someone says, don't do that, and it's just, I don't understand why you're telling me not to do that, I may as well do that. But yeah. Can someone just check if the QR code works and you can see this slideshow?
By the way, I like the gentleman's suggestions, actually, particularly if he gives lessons or some kind of instructions to new parents. They have to keep the kids that way from the very beginning. With us, it is kind of too late. So I like his suggestions.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Did you just come in a little while ago? I'm sorry, we basically have continued on with this session, but there's a QR code that we'll put on the screen where I think a lot of people here are just very interested in this subject. There's a QR code that we'll put on the screen that will give you access to the entire presentation. So I don't want you to think you're being left out here.
Thank you very much.
Does someone not have the QR code? Everyone has this paper? Okay.
Thanks.